Talking about the run Roman Reigns has been on as the tribal chief, Mark Henry said on Busted Open Radio, that dude has breathed life into that company. He deserves more than money. He deserves power, and he deserves respect. He should be able to help call the shots. Hey, Vince McMahon, Triple H, I think we should do this. He deserves the right to say that. Not many do. Not many ever get there, but he does. And Dave LaGreca, hot take, Roman Reigns in the next 3 years could be on the Mount Rushmore. He could push Ric Flair off. He could push The Undertaker off. He could push Andre the Giant off. He could push Hogan off. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's crazy, and we're living it. And we should be all excited and happy that we got to live this life that we're living right now, because man, these guys come along once every 100 years maybe. It's incredible. I'm loving it. Speaking about his dealings with health issues, Jim Ross said this about potentially returning to his commentating duties for AEW, saying on his Grilling JR podcast, "I'm feeling pretty good. I'm getting better every day. I just had a string of bad luck, health-wise, which is very unusual for me because, knock on wood, I've been very blessed with good health. But when you get to be 71 and you're trying to live a young man's life and a young man's business and going on the road every week, it can get very challenging." So that's kind of what I found myself in that situation. But what happens was, it's a hell of a story. At least it was for me. I got up, and not unlike a lot of other people, I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, so I hopped out of bed to go to the bathroom, and apparently I tripped over my CPAP cord. When I did, I fell face first into the end table next to my bed, and the corner hit over here somewhere. So I had a huge knot immediately. Eyes swelled shut almost immediately, but I was so sleepy and so out of it that I just got back in bed. I think I actually went to the bathroom. Mother Nature won that match, and then I got back in bed. The next morning, when I woke up, that was my flight out to Chicago to do that first show Collision, and that's all I was thinking about. I woke up and I had a badass headache. But okay, a headache ain't gonna keep JR out of work. But I had a bad headache, which was a result of the concussion, and my only thought was, I gotta finish packing and get on the road. That's kind of what I did, but I was very unstable. Everything was very foggy, and I'd have been better off staying at home, but hard-headedness and being stubborn, I felt like I had a commitment that I'd made that I wanted to fulfill. So I got dressed rather slowly, and my driver, he knows if I'm not standing there ready to go, to come upstairs where I live. But I was downstairs waiting and on a little unsteady ground and flew to Chicago. As the day went on in Chicago, my voice kept going in and out, and I don't know what the hell that was. I thought, well, I'll get over it. I'll drink a lot of hot tea or hot coffee or hot something and make that work for me. But it was just too much to overcome, and I apologize for how I sounded. I didn't intend to sound that way. I didn't want to sound that way, and I know I disappointed a lot of people. I disappointed me. I don't think it made anybody in AEW real happy how I sounded, but I was doing the best that I could. So after that show was over, I went back to the announcer's locker room where we all dressed, and I sat there for a little bit, and I thought, man, I can't keep doing this. I don't feel good. Something's not right. I got here, I did the best that I could, but boy, I need to get home. So good old Raphael Morphy, who's taken care of me so much on the road over the years, helped me get back to the hotel. I tucked myself in, and I didn't even get undressed that night. I wanted to make sure I could not waste any time making the flight the next morning. So I flew home, headache and all, and I've been here ever since. I've been out of the house a few times to go to the grocery store, maybe 2 or 3 times in the last few weeks. Other than that, I've got people that are helping me get groceries or whatever I need, prescriptions, things like that. But I was too unsteady to drive, and sure as hell too unsteady to walk around a grocery store. So I had my housekeeper buy me a little cane, which I'm embarrassed to say I've used a little bit, not outside, but here in the house to help me get around so I don't have any more falls. I was very lucky I woke up. I was very lucky I didn't bleed out, because I had a lot of blood on my pillowcases. I had to fight through it, and I've been fighting through it ever since. The concussion was one issue. I'm working on our book. I got a manuscript here that we've written, and I've been trying to get to it to read it, but I haven't been able to see good enough out of one eye. So I'm getting back on that track. I'm trying to get caught back up on that deal, but as far as going back on the road, I don't have a return date. Tony Khan's been very nice as far as take all the time you need, and if you want to take several weeks off or the summer off, whatever you'd like to do, just get healthy. So I appreciate the fact that he's being patient with me and that he is encouraging my good health, because that's really the main thing, and it gives us all an eye-opener. There's nothing more important than our health. So many times we take it for granted, and I have for years. So I'm going to be a little bit more aware of my health. I'm going to be a little bit more aware of how I take care of myself, but in the meantime, I've been here at home. When asked about wanting to join Mercedes Moné in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Bayley told Inside the Ropes, "I think what she's doing is incredible, but I don't know if I'd be able to do it. That Japanese style is intense. I'm a little too old for that. She can go ahead and do all that. She's braver than I am. She's way more athletic than I am. So she can do all that stuff, and I'll support her the whole time. If something were to happen and I was able to go experience different things like that, we'll see. But right now, my body will say no." Touching on his table spot with Ricochet from Money in the Bank, Logan Paul said this on his podcast. "You saw there was a botched move in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. There was a botched move with a dangerous landing. I walked away this time relatively unscathed. I got some scrapes and bruises, but no major tweaks or pulls, but Ricochet and I were supposed to do what's called a Spanish fly off the top rope, so one of our legs is on the rope, one of our legs is on the ladder, and we were supposed to hit it at the same time, and when we hit that rope, it was before me, so he moved it, so I slipped down all the way to the bottom. Keep in mind, I'm a noob. I don't really know what I'm doing out there, so when stuff goes wrong, I don't really know how to improv. So in my head, I'm like, how is this guy? This is effed. We effed this up. How is this guy gonna do this? Is he even gonna do this? Our legs are all twisted up like this. I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh, this MFer is still trying to send me this I'm not even ready. His feet aren't even planted. Off the second rope, just hawks a backflip. I'm like, all right. Went crashing through the tables, scraped my shoulder. I hit my head on the thing. I'm fine, no concussions or anything, but it's just a wild sport, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be honest. He blew the match for me. That's why we got into it backstage. I got into a little tussle with him. I don't know, bro. I felt like he was a little unprofessional. As Sting admitted to needing stitches for his lip following his ladder spot in AEW Dynamite last week, Darby Allin gave a health update on the legend, telling Busted Open Radio, "Sting's actually doing great. We talked the day after he jumped off the ladder on Dynamite, and he said he was feeling great, which is awesome, because I pulled him aside after the match and said, yo, just be honest with me. How you feeling? Not just your mouth, but your neck. Every single thing about your body. Because people forget he kind of retired in 2014, you know? When he took a buckle bomb, people kind of think that, you know? So for him to be going as hard, and trust me when I say this, it's none of my ideas, it's all him. He's just like, all right, there's a ladder here tonight, I'll jump off it." And a lot of people think it's me being the bad influence, but not. It's him. He's got that hunger, he's got that want to give the fans something, and he's feeling great, and I'm stoked. During an interview with WrestleSphere, Zelina Vega said this about her current run with the LWO. "Joining the LWO changed my life, my wrestling career, and my life in general. It's a whole new form of person for me because I never thought I'd be a good guy ever. It's like I get to show a whole new side of me, and getting to train under Rey Mysterio is something I never thought I'd get to do." Reviewing the match between Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank, Jim Cornette said this on his Experience podcast. "Cody got a huge ovation in London. He's the biggest babyface in the wrestling business now. And that just also shows you how quick things can turn around. He was a babyface in AEW and the fans were booing him. And now he's the biggest babyface in the biggest wrestling company in the world. It's the same guy, but it's the presentation. You know, it's the same product, but you're getting a negative reaction because of the way you're marketing it in one place and it's selling like gangbusters in the other place." Taking to Twitter, AEW star Keith Lee said this about fans following him in the middle of the night for a picture, writing, "I will offer this advice one time ever, so take a screenshot, make a mantra, whatever it takes. Do not follow someone for a block or two in the middle of the night just because you want a photo. If you do it, women, you're creepy. And where I'm from, it gets your ass beat." Speaking on My Love Letter to Wrestling, Kevin Owens said this about his memories of working in the UK, saying, "I remember wrestling in Orpington where because this guy, Sami Zayn, actually, the crowd's there just very tiny building, whatever, 400 or 500 people maybe, but it's so loud and so much fun to be in front of, to perform in front of. So obviously when we come here, the 2002 whatever, it's, you know, it's multiplication by a lot, but it's always the same kind of energy. But yeah, I mean, my first time was in 2006 and it's always always been great. It's always a treat to come here. It seems like they appreciate it more. Yeah, I know maybe the US fans might, that might take an exception to that, but it's just the way it is. Owens also touched on wanting to be a part of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, saying, "I'm actually a little annoyed I'm not in it this year. I love ladders. Yeah, I love ladders. I think I thrive in them. So to not get to do it kind of sucks." In some unfortunate news, former WWE star Danny Burch went on Twitter to post a link to a GoFundMe page which details his recent struggles. It reads, "Worst thing I've ever had to do in my life is ask for help, but I recently got my bank account hacked and lost everything. Impending rent and a legal fee that needs to be paid as soon as possible. Any little helps." Talking about his time on AEW Collision so far, Malachi Black told Bobby Fish on the Undisputed podcast, "I requested to be strictly on Collision. I don't want people to get the pick. Saturday night, I get to see House of Black. If I give you the option for Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday you're going to go, it doesn't really matter. I'll tune in whenever. They'll be there. I don't want to lose the polish." On Twitter, All Elite Botches said that AEW Collision is dead after 3 weeks of episodes, with their latest show only bringing in an average of 432,000 viewers and never breaking 500,000 during the whole episode. A fan would reply to this and tag Jonathan Coachman, writing, "Somebody should have warned them." Coach replied, "Kyle, what do I know? Been out of the business too long. You don't know AEW fans. You're an idiot. Just watch, Tony will show you. Let me repeat myself for those except Kyle who clearly listened. My wrestling shoes do not work on Saturdays. Never have, never will. Now you all can try." AEW Tag Team Champion Dax Harwood then said this, "Hey coach, we're trying to build a brand. It will take time. We understand that. Hopefully you do too. This roster absolutely loves wrestling, like an entity. Loves it. I know you probably can't relate to that. Will this Saturday night TV show endeavor work? Who knows? What I do know is we'll all work our asses off to make it work. I hope you and people like you give us an opportunity to show you professional wrestling is alive. I know you know how Monday nights work, but maybe you'll give us more than 3 weeks to make this work. If not, you're more than welcome to tell me I'm wrong. What I'm not wrong about is wrestling fans love wrestling and will always work to make them proud. Give us a chance." With Matt Riddle and his current partner announcing that they are expecting a baby, Riddle's ex-girlfriend has called out the star, writing, "He never sees his own kids. She doesn't even take care of her kid with medical issues. Both non-stop party. One's a sexual abuser, other is a high-risk porn star. He doesn't even like or want kids. I'd say karma did not fail me. Best of luck." Recalling the beginning of her relationship with Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch told Cosmopolitan UK, "When I first started dating Seth, I had certain reservations about it being public, not being public from the standpoint of in case things didn't work out. I knew fairly early on that he was the one and that there wasn't a more perfect person for me out there. But I was worried about us getting involved in a storyline in WWE and how that would be received. Trying to figure out that balance, it was harder for me than it was for him. I often felt awkward, like I'm in a certain way in our personal life, and then I have to maintain a certain aura and a certain presence in the ring. I did struggle with that." Becky Lynch's concerns became a reality after WrestleMania 35 when she and Rollins became part of a mixed tag storyline alongside Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Sure enough, we ended up in a storyline in WWE, and it wasn't the best. When talking about the reception from fans and critics to the AEW Fight Forever video game, lead narrative designer for the game, Justin Leeper, told Cultaholic, "Yeah, I think we're pretty happy. I think that I was at least aware the reviews might not be in the stratosphere, but at the end of the day, I make games for the player. I make games so that the people that are interested in it will pick it up and find some fun and enjoyment in it. Does that mean I made a perfect mode? No, definitely not. Is this a perfect game? No, it is not. Especially taking it as a from the ground up, first ever effort for a brand new IP. I think we accomplished what we wanted to do. I think I accomplished what I wanted to do on the mode. I think we made it a kind of easy to play, hard to master kind of game that was intuitive to the controls and fun to play. It's something to build off of, very much so, and I hope that there are some updates that come that bring some other people into the fold who hadn't bought the game yet. By and large, the people who I've heard from that are playing it are enjoying what they're playing. With Ronda Rousey reportedly having a hard out on her time with WWE as she is rumored to be done with the promotion around SummerSlam, the Wrestling Observer newsletter added this about her feud with Shayna Baszler. The tag team title match at Money in the Bank was really a backdrop for Baszler's turn on Rousey. It was clearly a heel-style turn, but the decision was made, clearly from television, to have Baszler be the babyface, with the idea she had to pay her dues, work in front of 30 people, set up rings, and such, while Rousey walked in and her first match was at WrestleMania. It's playing on the idea that Rousey didn't deserve to be pushed in WWE, even though nobody ever did more to help women's wrestling and fighting than Rousey in the big picture. The Rousey and Baszler tag team was always put together for the storyline is a breakup and a feud. That dated back to when Rousey made the call of when she was leaving. It's not known the date, whether it's right after SummerSlam or they'll take the program longer, but Rousey gave the office a finishing date of this run and asked to be put in a tag team with Baszler and to feud with her. Baszler helped Rousey greatly and really taught her a lot about pro wrestling when the two lived together and would watch wrestling together and attend shows together like at PWG. So Rousey wanted to pay her back by giving her a program that she otherwise wasn't going to get. Between Rousey's injury and other changes with the office being slow to get it started, they had no time to really establish them as tag champs or do the traditional slow build that was the original idea. The idea was to give them a lengthy reign and then do the split, but that didn't work out. Giving an update on how he's feeling after suffering a broken neck in March of last year, Big E told After the Bell, "I feel great. Unfortunately, I don't have a timetable. The great thing is, I feel 100%. I don't even feel like someone who broke their neck. My mobility is incredible and great. My strength is great. I have no issues whatsoever. I wish I had some answers on returning to the ring. I have nothing, unfortunately, but the beautiful thing is I feel great. My body feels great, and I'm really thankful for that. Life is good. I'm blessed. I can walk around and touch my toes, go to the gym, all those things. Really grateful. I want to say thank you to the EMTs who were there. Very timely. I thought it was a contusion. I didn't think my neck was broken at all. Thankfully, people got to me before I could do that. So thankful for the people in Birmingham. Dr. Dugas, who took great care of me. Everyone who was just there for me, people texting me, emailed me, all the people who checked in. Fans, peers, families, loved ones. Oftentimes, we look at the internet and Twitter, we think of wrestling Twitter, the community. Sometimes it can be a dark place and be less than ideal. For me, I just saw a very beautiful community that reached out, wanted to support me, that was there for me, not just the day of or the day after, but weeks and months after. I am so proud to be a part of this community and part of this industry because of that. I'm really grateful for all those things. Thanks to everyone. I love you guys. I appreciate the love and support. I am doing beautifully. Mind, body, soul, all those things are incredible. Fortunate and blessed to be alive. Tip your waiters, pay your taxes. When it comes to an update on Jade Cargill, who has been absent from AEW programming, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that there is also no timeline on a return of Jade Cargill. Cargill dropped the TBS title to Chris Statlander at Double or Nothing and hasn't been back since nor talked about much. When asked on Twitter if she would be coming back soon, the answer was no. She posted some photos later of her being in Hollywood and wrote, "Outside of the wrestling bubble is nice, I might stay." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.